Welcome to another episode of Wrench Warriors DIY. As always, our goal is to help you guys try and save money by showing you simple fixes you can do around your house. Today we're going to be changing out a TMP valve. What happens is when you get too much pressure in the line, either your regulator is going bad, you have a spike in pressure, or maybe your expansion tank is bad. But what happens is this thing will blow off. And what it is this senses temperature and pressure inside your water heater. When your water heater fires up, if it exceeds the pressure or the temperature that this is set for, this blows off as a last resort to keep your water heater from blowing up. So there's a little spring inside this valve right here that once it blows off, it never goes back to the same. They always seem to leak, and you'll always have a drip out of here. So today we're going to switch this out, and it's very simple. Of course, the first step is we need to shut off our pressure, shut off our main water, and drain down the pressure. One key element you want to look at is, you see how long this shank is right here. Some water heaters have a short shank, and some have a long shank like this to get to their threads. If you don't know which one you need and you get the wrong one, if you need a long shank and you get the short shank and the threads are here, it's not going to work with your water heater. So sometimes it's hard to tell just by looking at it without pulling this thing apart. But if you go with a long shank and your threads are actually close, it'll still work in your water heater. But if you go with a short shanked one and you need a long shank, it will not work. So if you have questions, always get the long shank, and it might stick out your water heater just a little bit further, but it will actually still work and you won't be without water. So let's go ahead and pull this apart. Sometimes you can get it with pliers. Sometimes you need to break it loose with a pipe wrench. This one here, we're going to get loose with the pipe wrench, or excuse me, with a pair of pliers. One key is to make sure that all your sinks and stuff where you've drained down the pressure, they're all closed back up. Because if you leave them open, it allows air into the system, which will allow this water heater to let more water out. But if you close off the system, it creates a vacuum, and it's not going to let as much water come out of this hole. So what I do is I get my pipe dope, and I pipe dope these threads up ahead of time. Alright, so then when I'm screwing this out, remember this is hot water, so don't just hold your hand there, because it's fairly warm. But there's usually not a lot of pressure that comes out of this thing. Just make sure you go slow. If you need to, you can use your pair of pliers. You have this one already in your other hand. Just shoot out a little bit of water like that, nothing too crazy. Just put this one right back in. And then tighten that thing up. As you can see, it sticks out a little bit further. This is what I'm talking about. See? Mine is actually for a short shanked. And you can see this thing's got a lot of buildup on it inside. Probably time that I need to switch them out. A lot of hard water buildup in there. But as you can see, I got the long shank. My water heater was a short shank, and it's still going to work for me. One thing you got to do is when you're loosening these and tightening them, you don't want to be grabbing clear down here and putting a lot of pressure on these threads, because you want to be able to tighten a drop into that and drop it to the floor so that if it ever blows off, it doesn't scald somebody. Most of the time I can use a pair of pliers, but if you want, I think a pipe wrench is probably the best if you have it. You definitely don't want to over tighten these things. You don't want to be like putting all your weight on it. I'm turning this just with my arm strength here. And once you get that thing facing straight down, you're good to go. You can put a drop in there and drop it down. So if it ever blows off while somebody's in here, it doesn't scold your family or anything like that. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope this saves you a bunch of money. And if it does, make sure you like and subscribe. We want you guys to be able to see our videos, be able to fix these things on your own. And like I say, our goal is always to help you guys save money, keep the money in your pocket. And we appreciate you watching. Have a good day.